How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. So let's get one that's a little bit more upbeat than the one that we had earlier today, because that was a little bit negative, a little bit miserable, to be honest. It really kind of bothered me, but let's move away from that. Unless you've not seen it, go ahead, give it a watch, because it's quite important that you do watch it. I'll put a link at the top of the video here now. But anyway, in this video, what we're going to be doing is another one of the community post videos, and you guys seem to be enjoying these, so I'm enjoying making them. And in all honesty, it's quite cool to hear from you guys. So I put a post on my community section where you guys could get involved, and I asked you the question, what updates would you love to see in RuneScape 3? These could be absolutely anything from a small quality of life to huge changes and ideas. Share your thoughts and you may be in the next video. And of course, as always, I always put this on there. Any names that look like real names will be blurred, because it definitely just makes sense to me to do that, unless you guys say, of course, just to leave your name. Now, I really do enjoy making these kinds of videos, as it does let me basically read through loads of comments from you guys and make content out of that, and you guys seem to like getting involved as well, so it's pretty awesome. If you're interested, there'll be another post, one of these, very, very soon. Keep an eye out, get commenting. If you don't get in this video, you may get in the next one. But anyway, leave a like if you enjoy, do subscribe if you're new, and let's get started, shall we? Let's see what you guys think this game needs update-wise. Okay, so let's have a look at the comments. Before we do, though, if I sound weird, I'm still sick, but it's not going to stop me making videos, so let's just get on with it, shall we? Our first comment is from Just Wolf. You said the Grimoire page update that was supposed to happen that put pages in the Lost Grove Creatures drop pool. Also, a rework of Max Guild would be great. Okay, so the Grimoire pages, has this been delayed or something? Is that why you're saying that? I thought it wasn't just wasn't due to be out yet. Maybe it got delayed with all the lockout stuff. I'm really not too sure. But yeah, that'd be really, really cool. I bought a Grimoire recently to do Solak with. Damn, they are so expensive. I only use it at Solak because obviously while you're in there it's free. But anywhere else, it's just way too expensive for me to be like, yeah, I'll use this here, because if I can do it without, I just don't really see any need. Personally, I won't be getting any of the pages, but the cheaper value of the pages will be pretty damn good. I assume the book is probably going to go up in price and the pages will come down. What do you guys reckon? But also a Max Guild rework. Hell yes, the Max Guild definitely needs looking at. I'm not really sure what we could do, but what do you guys reckon? Leave a comment down below. What do you think the Max Guild could use? Next up, we have Primal 2HS. Similar to old school, I would love to see a separate RuneScape experience pre-EOC, so around 2013 timeline. This includes the HD graphics that they had. I know there's a community that wants to accomplish this. So I hear a lot of people talking about this, and EOC was actually released in November 2012, so it would have had to be any time really before that, I assume. But I've heard so many people say that they wish old school had been at this time, like about 2012, just basically bringing the game back before EOC. There is absolutely plenty of people trying to work on a HD client for old school RuneScape as well, which will be really, really cool to see. I've seen some of them through people trying them out on YouTube and stuff like that. Otherwise, I really don't have much info on them at all. However, I kind of agree it would be kind of cool to go back to that time and experience basically the game right before I quit for a long break. EOC came out, I took a massive break, and it'd be kind of cool to experience that again. However, you need to keep in mind that if they remade it, it probably wouldn't be the same as it was then today, if that makes sense, because people are just going to be playing the game completely different. People play RuneScape differently now than they do then. Everyone's way more efficient than they used to be, and it's all about that efficiency, the quickest grind you can do, and it's a lot different than it was back then. However, it'd be very, very cool to see, but at the same time, I don't know if it's something they could actually do. They've already got old school, they've already got RuneScape 3. Adding another one and splitting the community again really wouldn't do too well for the community, I don't think. It wouldn't do too well for the health of the main game, especially because people would be leaving that. Hell yes, people would leave that to go and try that other one out. And I feel like dividing the community quite thin and having the games feel quite quiet, seeing as there's 3 of them, probably wouldn't do too well for the actual game. It'd be nice if we could try it out maybe for like a day or so, but otherwise I think old school RuneScape is probably the best bet that we do have for that sort of thing. Next up, we have good old Age of Zero. Hey, how you doing, Age? Hopefully you're doing well, dude. I would love to see graphic updates in certain parts of the game. Okay, so to be honest, I didn't actually realize, and it's kind of probably a bit stupid of me, that they can actually just graphically update specific parts of the game. Like, they can update, say, the Karamja Islands if they wanted to, or they could update, like, the Fight Kiln. Just places like that, they can do specific things. They don't have to update the whole engine and rewrite everything to update certain areas, which is really, really cool. But of course, because I'm not a game developer, I had no idea that this was a thing until probably, like, sometime last year. And Age, honestly, I completely agree. It'd be nice to see some graphical updates in some places. RuneScape 3 actually has quite a nice charm to it, in all honesty. The graphic areas are pretty damn nice. Some of them look really, really good, especially when you're going out of your way to try and find screenshots and stuff like that for thumbnails and all that sort of stuff. You actually realize how good RuneScape 3 can look in the right filter, in the right skybox, in the right area and stuff like that. But I absolutely agree, there's some places in the game that really need a graphical update, and I would love to see it. Comment down below, guys, where would you actually like to see a graphical update in the game? Because I can think of quite a few places that I'd actually like to see an update graphically, so I am quite interested to see what you guys think as well. Next up we have Scrubby. You've said, as a PVMer, I would love to see a ring EOF or ring stand of some sort. Also, capes need some love. Lastly, I believe construction, woodcutting, fire making need a refresh because they're mostly pointless now. Okay, so we've got quite a few updates in this one, and it's nice and short as well, so this is kind of cool. We've got the first one with the ring EOF. This is something that, yes, I would actually love to see, and in all honesty, not even necessarily in the same way that the EOF is done. Just if we could have, say, our Ring of Death, and then we could put our Ring of Vigor into the Ring of Death and combine them, and then we'd still only get the stats from the Ring of Death. We wouldn't get them mixed together, it wouldn't boost it or anything like that, but it just means we wouldn't have to switch to the Ring of Vigor, because let's be honest, the Ring of Vigor is a useless ring except for the switch, so it'd be nice to bring us that inventory space back. Just let us combine that, or do it with any ring, so you'd have the Ring of Death and maybe the new magic ring, for example, but we would only get the stats from one of those rings. That's something that I think would be kind of cool, and in all honesty, they may actually do it at some point, because personally I feel like they must be thinking that they need to do something about all the switches that people are bringing in game at the moment, because it's kind of getting a little bit out of hand. What do you think? Does anyone else kind of feel a EOF ring style sort of thing coming pretty soon, or at any point in the future? Let me know in the comments below. Also, capes need some love. Hell yes, capes need some love. Now, personally, I think there's going to be something to do with capes coming out in God Wars 3. It's just because there's literally been nothing about capes in so long, and I feel like that's probably where they're going to go with abilities as well. Probably more ability books and stuff like that, but I think capes along the line somewhere must be needing to get something, because the kiln is the last time they did anything with capes, isn't it? Or even if not, they're still the best in slot capes in the game, and the kiln is so damn old, dude. It is so damn old, so it'd be nice to see some sort of improvements with that. And then, as you say, for construction, woodcutting, fire making, yeah, construction's absolutely useless. Woodcutting and fire making, not really much use for it, except for what, cutting some vines to get into some dungeons and stuff. So a rework on these would be really, really cool, but I think they're probably working on it, because they are reworking a lot of stuff, so we'll have to see what happens. And next comment is coming from James Games, and I'm not going to be blurring your name because James could be anyone, it's absolutely fine. I'd love to see a rework to the grouping system to help new PVMers find groups. I've been trying to get better at PVM over the last few months and can kill most bosses now. The only ones I haven't tried are pretty much group content, like Virago, Solak, AOD and Rots. I think it's pretty hard to find groups for these if you're not already established, although maybe they need to rework death costs before people would use it to take newcomers. Okay, yes, I completely agree with you on this one, and honestly, dude, this is something quite big that needs to be done, and if they can do it in game, then it would be absolutely awesome. You've got the matchmaking and stuff, but no one uses it really. It doesn't really seem to do much for people to get into PVM, and if you did join a group, say through matchmaking, I could assume it would be very, very toxic, and I can definitely see people just going, nah, I'm not doing that again, it's not really worth it, and you just kind of don't end up going to these bosses. Now, I am planning eventually, guys, to make something like this in my Discord channel, where I'll have people teaching low-level players PVM, so if you're interested, do join. It may not be set up yet for a little while, I am working on it, I'm planning it. It is taking quite a lot of planning and thought through to do it, and also while I'm doing videos as well, it's just going to take some time, but I'm going to be doing this, setting it up so that learners can get to these bosses without any toxicity, and they can learn them, and then eventually hopefully you guys can help their other people learn as well. But if you're interested, do join the Discord, there'll be a link in the description. Hopefully we can do something with this eventually. I'm definitely going to try and set something up. If it works or not, I am not 100% sure, but we'll just have to see. Next up we have 92VXEG, a ring stand, the ability to fuse rings or the ability to wear more rings. So this is what we talked about with the EOF ring thing, kind of really the same sort of thing. So it definitely seems like something that people would be interested in, and I know that a lot of people just want less switches, so that's probably why. A vampire quest that the rewards allow Scrimshaws of Vampirism to work with all styles. That would be kind of cool. It may be a little bit overpowered, what do you think? Maybe? Maybe not? That'd be kind of cool though, I like the idea of it. Max cape should have all 99 or 120 capabilities in one cape, so you wouldn't have to use any skill capes, I assume you mean. So for example, each cape does have a bonus effect, so you would have a magic cape, for example. A 99 magic cape can let you change spellbook without having to actually go and change it manually in the place that you do it, so you can, it's nice and convenient. The herb lore cape lets you instantly clean herbs and stuff like that, so having them all in the max cape, yeah, I mean, technically it wouldn't be an issue, as long as it doesn't include all the combat ones. Maybe that could maybe get a little bit overpowered, having all of the combat effects as well. But things like the skilling ones, I assume it'd just be quality of life, because for example, you all have access to all of the capes anyway. If you're going to be doing herb lore, you'll just chuck on a herb lore cape. If you're going to be doing divination, you chuck on a divination cape, and so on. So having them in the max cape would be kind of the same thing, I suppose, just without you having to go and actually get that specific individual cape. So I don't see a problem with this. It actually seems pretty interesting. An ability to hold more inventory space, maybe a perk to 120 strength or constitution. This, see, I'm kind of mid-ground about this. I would very much like to have more space in my inventory sometimes, but at the same time, 28 spaces is what we've kind of grown up with. It's always been the same, and changing that would kind of feel like, I don't know, just wrong to me. And also it would make other bosses, like certain places, just kind of very, very easy. We of course do have our yak and stuff, so we could always use that for extra spaces, but I know what you mean. You mean like actual inventory spaces and not a yak. But yeah, it's very, very interesting. What do you guys think? Do we need more inventory spaces? Comment down below. I'm quite interested in seeing what you guys think about this. And finally, the ability to override legendary pets. Yes, please. Yes, please. I use my legendary pet quite a bit sometimes, and having the abilities and stuff are really, really cool. Having it repair my armor and whatnot is absolutely awesome. But I'm not going to lie, I don't really like how it looks. It just doesn't look that great. It's just a little, well, it's just a little bit rubbish, in all honesty. I'd like to be able to have the effects, but apply it to other pets. So maybe if you've got a legendary pet unlocked, maybe just apply those abilities to all of the pet overrides. That'd be kind of cool. Our next commenter says, I'd like to see a change towards new players or low level players. The game hasn't been as populated as it has been back in the day. It is time to get more players to play again. It does need to be a grind to get high up, but you should be rewarded for certain achievements. As a player that has no IRL friends playing this game, it's been tough getting to certain stages of the game. Alright, I really like this comment. Honestly, I really do. So, something that really bothers me about RuneScape is how hard it is to get into the game. It is really hard to get into, and honestly, a lot of people play and then quit. I've actually had quite a few friends try the game out, and they've got maybe, a couple of hours in, and then given up on it because it just doesn't seem to sort of help new players understand what they should be doing, why they're doing stuff, and it just doesn't seem like it's very player friendly at the beginning of the game. And to be quite honest, the new player experience really isn't that great for new players because it's just really confusing. It doesn't really help you out all that much, and people just sort of tend to give up quite a bit. So it'd be really nice if they could do something to help out the new players get into the game, and just help them get into the game and understand what they're doing and why they're doing it. I feel like knowing why you're doing stuff in a game is very, very important. Okay, I'm going to make this our last comment. So we have one that says, new raid bosses, raids 2, hurry up with God Wars 3, Telos 2.0 with God Wars 3 update, new group boss that is focused on mechanics and not just a DPS race, something as mechanically based as Solak, but not a DPS dummy like AOD. Okay, yeah, fair enough. So you basically want lots of new PvM content in the game. And honestly, I completely agree. It would be really, really cool to see. And of course, this God Wars 3 update needs to come soon. I literally can't wait to get some new bosses into the game. I think getting things like more raids in the game would be really, really cool as well. But also, elite dungeons. I feel like they need to add like an elite dungeons too as well. And having that as like a bigger group content, like 5 to 10 people will be really, really cool. And making it so that if you go with more people, it doesn't actually make it negative on your loot. I feel like dungeons really should be group content, and the elite dungeons at the moment, if you don't solo them, you're kind of punished for it because the drop rates are ridiculous. If you don't solo ED1, you're wasting your time. You're going to get absolutely nothing out of doing that. ED2, ED3, the drop rates are ridiculously higher in group, and it makes sense because you can run it quicker. But if they could design something where group content is promoted and it makes sense to actually go with your friends, that'd be really, really cool. Because a lot of the time when I'm doing group PvM, I kind of feel like I'm just sort of shooting myself in the foot, because I could technically just be making a lot more money by doing this solo, and then at the same time it's kind of like I don't want to keep doing solo stuff. I enjoy group stuff, so don't really know where to go with it. Okay, so that is going to be our last comment. If you didn't get in this one, then I do apologize, but again, there is kind of just too many comments for me to include all of them. But do comment on the next one, and I will try and keep an eye out for names that aren't mentioned in every single one of them, and I will definitely try and get as many different people in as I can. Also, comment down below any ideas for these sort of videos that you would like to see, any questions you would like me to put out there, and I will definitely take those into account and make a list of those as well. Anyway guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like on it. Do subscribe if you are new. I also plan to be returning to Twitch very soon once I get my voice back properly and once I am not feeling a bit ill. There's a link to my Twitch in the description, so do go and follow that if you're interested in catching any of this stuff live. But otherwise, as always, I really appreciate your watching, and I will see you all in the next one. See you later guys. Bye. I just wanted to say a huge thank you to my current channel members. You guys are all absolutely insane. We have Andy V, Sam, Maka, Jax, It's OP Harambe, Kezlogger, Amber, and Joey Vibes. Thank you all so much for your extra support. I really appreciate it. If anyone else is interested in what these guys get, then click the join button by the sub button to have a look.